Hi, I will be discussing about applying human behavior theories to support young adults transitioning from foster care, and I'll be speaking about the case of Jordan. The case study overview, I'll be discussing about Jordan's background. He is a 19-year-old that's recently aged out of foster care. He's had 8 foster placements since age 6, transitional living program resident. He's a high school graduate and has reports of anxiety and isolation, and he's interested in community college. The key challenges is the financial management, employment stability, relationship difficulties, and limited support system. So the first theoretical framework is the attachment theory. It was developed by John Bowlby, Mary Antoinette, and the core concept is that early caregivers' relationships influence future relationships. Secure attachment fosters trust and resilience. Disrupted attachment may lead to distrust, anxiety, and social difficulties. And this is relevant to Jordan because he was in multiple foster placements. He's having difficulties forming lasting relationships, and he has symptoms of isolation and anxiety. Attachment theory explains how early relationships shape emotional regulation and interpersonal functioning throughout life. Jordan's frequent placement changes likely disrupted develop opportunities to develop secure attachment. Understanding attachment patterns allows social workers to recognize behaviors rooted in trauma and develop interventions that foster trust, connection, and emotional stability. The benefits and risk of attachment theory. The benefit is trauma informed perspective, improves understanding of relationship challenges, supports development of trust building interventions. The risk is it may overemphasize childhood experience, can overlook strength and resilience, and limits attention to environmental factors. This applies to Jordan because of the consistent supportive relationship, mentorship programs, therapeutic interventions, addressing trust and attachment. Attachment theory offers valuable insight into Jordan's interpersonal difficulties. However, practitioners should avoid viewing his challenges solely through a deficit lens. Social workers must also excuse me, recognize Jordan's strengths, educational accomplishment, and resilience while helping him establish supportive adult relationships and healthy coping mechanisms. The theriatric the theriatrical framework number 2 is Erikson's psychosocial development theory. Young adult development stage, intimacy versus isolation. Risk or key tasks: form meaningful relationships, establish independence, develop identity and purpose. Jordan's developmental challenges is isolation, anxiety, limited social support, and difficulties trusting others. According to Erikson, young adulthood centers on forming intimate relationships while maintaining a stable sense of self. Jordan's experiences may complicate successful completion of this developmental stage. Social workers can assist by helping him build social connection, strengthen self confidence, and pursue educational and vocational goals. The benefit and risk of Erikson's theory. So the benefit is that it's developmentally focused. It highlights age-related challenges and supports goal-oriented interventions. The risk is stages may not occur sequentially. Cultural differences may influence development, may oversimplify an individual experience. Applications to Jordan. He has educational planning, career development, social skills development, and community engagement opportunities. Erikson's theory provides a useful frame for understanding Jordan's developmental task. While the model may not capture every individual's experience, it helps social workers identify age-appropriate goals that promote independent relationship building and long-term stability. Personal factors influencing transition to adulthood. Personal influences include self-esteem, identity formation, mental health, educational attachment, coping skills. Jordan's personal factors include anxiety symptoms, motivation for college, feelings of overwhelm, and limited confidence. Personal characteristics significantly affect the transition into adulthood. Jordan demonstrates both strengths and challenges. His desire to attend college reflects future orientation and motivation, while anxiety and uncertainty may hinder his ability to pursue opportunities without adequate support and guidance. Family and social factors. Family influences attachment relationships, family stability, emotional support. Social influences is peer relationships, community resources, educational opportunities, employment access. In Jordan's situation, his disrupted family connection, limited support network, transitional housing environment. Family and social support make Family and social support play critical roles during emerging adulthood. Youth aging out of foster care often experience weaker support network than their peers. Building community connection and identifying supportive adults are important social work interventions that can enhance Jordan's long-term success. Cultural, spiritual, and environmental factors. Cultural factors, beliefs about independence, community values, social expectations. Spiritual factors, meaning making, hope, resilience. Environmental factors, housing stability, employment opportunity, access to education. An impact on Jordan, he needs the need for supportive community resources, opportunity for belonging and purpose. Cultural and spiritual influences contribute to how individuals interpret challenges and develop resilience. Environmental resources such as affordable housing, educational support, and employment services are particularly important for foster youth transitioning into adulthood. Social workers must access these contextual influences when planning intervention. Christian worldview and social work practice. The shared principles: compassion, human dignity, service to others, justice and advocacy. Social work connection: person and environment perspective. Strength-based practice, ethical responsibility. Relevant is relevant. How is it relevant to Jordan? Supporting empowerment, promoting self-worth, and advocating for resources. Christian teachings and social work values share a commitment to serving vulnerable populations and promoting human dignity. Jordan experiences call for compassionate and ethical interventions that recognize his inherited worth while advocating for opportunities that support long-term growth and independence. Biblical foundations. Relevant scripture: Micaiah 6:8. Act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens. Psalms 82:3. Defend the weak and the fatherless. Application: advocacy for vulnerable youth, compassionate service, promotion of justice and support. These biblical passages emphasizes justice, compassion, and care for vulnerable individuals. For social workers, these teachings reinforce professional responsibility to advocate for marginalized populations such as youth transitioning from foster care while promoting dignity, empowerment, and hope. Social work intervention plan for Jordan. Recommended interventions: trauma-informed counseling, attachment force therapy, community college application support, employment readiness service, financial literacy education, adult mentorship program. Expected outcome: increase independence, improve coping skills, enhance social support, educational advancement. An integrated intervention plan addresses Jordan's developmental, emotional, and educational and practical needs. By combining evidence-based practices with community resources, social workers can support his transition towards stability, independence, and successful adulthood. Thank you.